apparently it's going to be a heat wave in Paris today, breaking all known temperatures. But we're not in Paris, we're in West Yorkshire. We're here to, what better weather could you have to film outdoors? We're here to look at the installation of the Andersen A2 smart electric vehicle charger. We're going to meet Paul Rowlandson, who's just started his company EVI to concentrate on electric vehicle chargers. So let's go and find out what's going on. So Paul, thanks for inviting us down for the install today, and obviously huge thanks to your client for letting us descend on their house. I think we've nearly wiped them out of tea. We're looking at the A2, Andersen A2 charger today. Why do you find that clients opt for that charger?
Well, I've had a great amount of feedback from the installations that I've carried out, and the clients have always said that it's the aesthetic appeal for the Andersen, that it's quite different from the other products that are out there. A lot of the other products have got things going for them in their own right, but so have Andersen. And I think initially it's what the build quality, it's the colour choices that you can have on the body, and then obviously the contrasting features of the front panel from a Kia wood of about 3 or 4 different colours to the range of colours to suit the side and the body. And then I think, generally speaking, there's a lot of Andersen's customers that are very much into technology, and they obviously have a review on the technical aspects of the Andersen and what it can do, and of course the Andersen Connect app, whereby they can take control of their charging. They're also able to see how much that charge is costing them through the Andersen app, and the features on the app allow them to lock and unlock the charger remotely. So it's all round good bit of engineering.
Okay, so people can actually stop people accessing the charge cable itself.
That's right, and then if you happen to have a neighbour or a relative who's needing to come and take charge and you're out for the day and they give you a call, you can actually engage their charging for them. So yeah, it's quite flexible that way as well.
Oh wow. When we speak about EV charging, a lot of people talk about future proofing and how important it is, because we're early days of electric vehicles. And I caught up with a client before she went to work this morning, so in the future they're thinking of possibly looking at some renewables in the house to work with the electric car.
Yeah, so basically the Andersen A2 can be integrated with solar. The solar could be generating the power directly to the car, and also via a battery storage unit, to then sort of subsequently take charge at a later time, as and when required.
So I also believe the Andersen unit's got the facilities to put a current transformer in there as well. So why would you want to do that?
Yeah, so the Andersen A2, it has adaptive loading, and this is designed basically to sense from the incoming supply, detect a level of loading on the supply, and if need be, it will act as a fail-safe mechanism. With the car being under constant charge, if it needs to, then it will derate from, say, for example, on a 7.2 kilowatt charger, from 32 amp all the way down to, I think it's somewhere around about 3-4 amps, if need be. Yeah.
Okay, so that's if someone say installed an electric shower, or they've got a high load in the house and they suddenly start using all their appliances, it kind of just sort of it makes sure you're not going to blow that service fuse.
Yeah, and I guess it also works again from a future-proofing aspect, where a customer in a few years' time might decide to buy a second EV, so they may wish to go and buy an Andersen A2 or be another electric car charger. The adaptive loading can work, in conjunction with another charger, so then it can share the charge amongst the two vehicles whilst being on charge at the same time. Okay. For example, from a 32 amp charge down to a balance of 16 amp charge per vehicle.
Okay, so it shares the load between the cars, and obviously you can choose on the app which one gets priority and when they're going to be charged by.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that's great. I mean, so obviously a lot of this is driven through the app. This is an OLEV scheme. We're this qualifying for the OLEV grant. Yes. I think now the chargers for the OLEV scheme now have to be connected. I don't think there's any option for that.
Yes.
So obviously, to be a smart charger, it relies on some form of connectivity. How have we connected the charge point to the internet today?
Okay, well, today the option was to hardwire the Andersen EV A2 to the router. That gives a solid connection to the router. So whereby if there was any interference through, the building fabric or anything like that, the Wi-Fi. If it was to be disturbed, it wouldn't drop out, and then you would lose, potentially you could lose your functionality of your app, the Andersen Connect. So that's a really good sound belt and braces way of connecting to the application.
And obviously, we know from speaking to Andersen, they're working on technology to remove the need for an earth rod.
Yes.
But obviously today we've opted for the belt and brace approach. We've put the earth rod in.
Yes.
It's quite a bit of difficulty, isn't there, in actually, putting the earth rod in. We've had the drain covers up.
Yep.
Is that a risk that you'd like to get rid of?
Yes, definitely. I think most installers really would rather do without putting the earth spike in. A, risk, B, time consumption and disturbance to the customer's property, be it if you have to lift block paving drive or in those situations can be a little bit awkward. But yeah, with Andersen, of course, they're introducing the pen conductor, which will have a reference to earth in order for both the live neutral and earth to be disconnected under any external fault condition.
Yeah, so hopefully that feature is available soon.
Yep.
It's in trial.
That's right.
So I mean, obviously looking at the unit itself, people obviously pick it because it's a good looking unit, but obviously quite unique on this one, the actual cable, when you've finished using it, all the cable's hidden away.
Yes, yeah. So, unlike a lot of chargers, the cable, when it's a tethered lead, of course, surrounds the outer body of the unit. With Andersen, they've come up with a clever idea whereby the cable can be easily uncoiled and coiled, and the plug hidden away, when the lead's not in use. So it does add to the aesthetics of the finish of the unit. So it's good.
Yeah, I must admit, I've got an EV charger myself at home with a tethered lead, and yeah, that lead it does look quite unsightly when you've left the drive. There's this either awful lead because you can't be bothered to wind it around the charger.
That's correct. I mean, the longevity as well, when you think about it, in terms of wear and tear with any EV charger, most likely will be the lead over some time. So for the functionality of it being coiled up out of the way where it's protected, that's obviously going to be a big plus for the customer.
So Paul, I mean, in closing, you've kind of decided now to specialise in EV chargers.
Yeah, so basically I decided to venture into specialising in the electric vehicle charging market, realising that a lot of manufacturers now are producing vehicles that are either electric or hybrid, and the long-term forecast is, I do believe that by 2030, 80% of the vehicle industry will be either hybrid or electric. So it's a very sound market to be entering, and I think there's going to be lots of opportunity both for home charging and workplace charging installations and projects.
Okay, so I mean, you've decided to partner with Andersen. I mean, why did you choose Andersen over lots of the other charge point manufacturers out there?
Yeah, I've kept an eye open since 2013 actually on who were out there at the time, and I was just biding my time to enter the market, and having done research in this last 12 months, I came across Andersen on the internet. And I approached them, introduced myself, and wanted to find out a little bit more about their charging unit. And I was fortunate enough to then meet Lee Williams, their installation manager. He talked me through the unit, and I was really pleased, not just with the product, but actually the ethos that Andersen have. and you know, it's quite satisfying to be working alongside professional people within the Andersen team. And of course, it's a great product and get a lot of good reviews from the customers on completion of the installation. So it's all around, it's great.
I mean, do you find EV charging, does that get you into other things with clients, or do you just want to stick with just doing the EV part?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to other contractors having sort of, you know, ventured into starting a business, and a lot of people said to me, well, you know, don't spread yourself too thin and try to do too many specialisations, just maybe pick one or two. And of course, the first one for me is the electric vehicle charging unit, and you know, want to progress into battery storage and solar generation as my next two disciplines, specialisations. Yeah.
Oh, well, fantastic. I mean, hopefully that works out well. Hopefully we'll come back and see you on a solar installation when it's nice and sunny.
Yeah, very much.
So,
yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, cheers.
We've had a great day on site with Paul. You know, he's had to work really hard in some challenging weather conditions today to get that install done. But the result is the client's got a fantastic electrical charge point that not only looks great, but it's packed full of some useful technology that you can use now, but also capture in some other features as this market develops and start thinking about renewables and things like that. You know, if you've got an install coming up that you think's, you know, really interesting or different, then yeah, get in touch with us. We'll come along and we might be filming your install. See you soon.